Okay, there. So, hi and welcome back. So, last week we started a conversation around the imposter syndrome. I took some time to describe the imposter syndrome for you in detail and defined it according to a psychologist, Dr. Albers, as the ability or the feeling that everyone knows what they are doing except you, and you feel very lost, especially when you feel like everyone is going to discover that you're a fraud and that you don't really know what you're talking about. And so we talked about how that the imposter syndrome is a cycle that will come down with negative consequences to your life over time if you're not paying attention to it. And then we talked about the people that experience imposter syndrome, hard workers, high achievers, perfectionists, they feel like frauds. And I told you about how even Einstein felt like his research got more attention than it deserved. And then we looked at some symptoms of the imposter syndrome. You know how you credit your luck to any other reason, your success to luck or any other reason except hard work or any other thing. Fear of being seen as a failure, fear of overworking being the only way to meet expectations, the feeling of unworthiness, of attention and affection, downplaying of your achievements, holding back from attaining or attainable goals. We talked about how that the imposter syndrome is on display at work, at home, at school, in relationships, in life generally. The imposter syndrome is seen everywhere. And then we looked at how to discover or overcome imposter syndrome. We started by saying your identity, knowing who you are, is very, very important. Number two, separate feelings from facts. Number three, take note of your accomplishment. And number four, stop comparing. That's where I'm going to start today. Stop comparing. You must learn to focus on your own achievements instead of holding them up against others. Be your greatest competition. I want you to type it in the chat. I am my greatest competition, so that you do not feel the overwhelm or the pressure to perform, to meet up to an expectation. You don't enter into that trap of feeling that you don't measure up. So you learn to turn imposter syndrome on its head. Remember that you are smart, and most smart, high achieving people feel this way. So trust that you recognize that you are good enough. And in fact, Dr. Albert said something in her research that I was reading. She said people who are actually imposters, they do not have that feeling, and they do not feel like imposters. People who are actually imposters do not feel like imposters. They don't feel like they have original thoughts, original thinking, nothing. They just feel like, oh, I'm the king of the world, I'm on top of the world. So true imposters don't feel that way, and let that be your motivation to keep pushing forward. Number five is talk to others. Talk to others. When you begin to feel that way, talk to your support system. Talk to the people in your life that you believe will tell you the truth, but yet be constructive about the criticism that they give to you. People that will tell you the truth, people that will look at you and say, you know what, I feel this, and this need to be worked on. I feel this, and this needs to be worked on. I feel like this is what you need to pay attention to. So share your feelings. Here is what a psychologist said. She said, if you don't trust your own facts, enlist other people. If you do not trust your own facts, but like I said, be strategic about who you share with, because sometimes when you begin to share your feelings with your colleagues, some of your colleagues, it may actually breed comparison. They may now begin to belittle you and take advantage of it. So share with trusted people. Share with people that you trust. Share with people that you trust. All right. Then number next is celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins. Learn to really celebrate your wins, and it's the same thing as taking note of your accomplishments, but instead of just stopping at noting it, take it a step further. Applaud yourself, and when people congratulate you, don't just brush it off. Don't move on too fast. Pay attention to how you respond, and aim to speak more positively about yourself. Oh, there are some ladies that when you tell them, oh, you look beautiful today, they're like, oh, wow, really? This old clothes. No, don't try to belittle yourself in that moment that you're being celebrated. Take a minute and say, oh, wow, really? Oh, wow, I think I look good too. You see, little things like that, little things like that taken together will show you that you are an incredibly competent, high functioning individual, because sometimes we all need a little bit of reminders. So celebrate yourself when you get an award. Take yourself out to dinner when you are applauded for something. When you are told that you're good at something, applaud yourself, celebrate yourself. Number next, let go of perfectionism. You don't have to lower the bar, but adjust your standard for success to make it easier to see, and then internalize your accomplishments. Now, there may never be a perfect way to show what perfectionism looks like, because your standards and my standards are different, but you have to learn to be okay with being good enough. You have to learn to be okay. Seek to improve every time, but applaud yourself that you're showing up and that you're good enough in this moment. And then when you do not meet your own standards for yourself, resist that urge to see yourself as a failure. Resist that urge to expose yourself as a failure. Resist that urge to see failure as an opportunity. In fact, I believe that one author, John Maxwell, right? He wrote a book, Failing Forward. Failing Forward is such an amazing book. And I think we've done a podcast, a leadership podcast on failing forward. You have to learn to fail forward. You have to see failure as an opportunity for growth. See failure as an opportunity for growth. You need to see it. You need to see it. All right. See yourself as an opportunity for see failure as an opportunity for growth. See it as an opportunity to do better, to be better. All right, just see failure as you need to grow. See failure as you need to be better. See failure as you need to improve yourself. Just see failure as that opportunity for better, better, better. It's very important to see better in. And then when you now begin to do that, seeing letting go of perfectionism, you begin to break free from those roles, so that you can be somebody who doesn't know it all and knows how to ask for help. Remember, you don't have to know it all. Release yourself from those rigid roles. Release yourself from those very difficult roles that if you're not getting it, it cannot be gotten. No, don't put yourself under that kind of pressure. Number next, cultivate self compassion. Self compassion is using mindfulness to shift from the external view of self worth into an internal one, to help you let go of perfectionism. When a real imposter is in the room, they're unconscious, they're mindless, but mindfulness helps you move in a different direction. It helps you recognize your feelings of fear and learning to be truly okay with who you are, where you are, and how you are, yet seeking to improve without your accomplishment. So you have to seek to improve. You have to seek to be better. You have to seek to do better. All right, you have to be intentional about that life. You have to be conscious about it. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Don't just sweep it under the carpet and say, oh, whatever will be, it's just another moment. It's not just another moment. Be compassionate with yourself. Okay, I'm really good at this, but I'm struggling with this. And you know what? I don't have to be good at everything, and struggling is okay. I can seek to learn to do better. I can delegate to somebody else, but whatever way, this will get done. That's self compassion. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Another way to help is to share your failures. Share your failures. Hearing what other people think about you is not the only way to go out of your imposter syndrome, but discussing your failures can help you release the pressure of perfectionism. When I share that, oh, I feel like I'm not good at communication, I feel like I'm not good at this thing, you realize that sometimes when I share these things, they encourage the people around me, and then it helps people feel like I don't have to be perfect, I don't have to be all put together, I don't have to get it right every single time. Sharing this thing can become a learning moment for you. Let it be a learning moment for you that, oh, I'm learning to be better, I'm learning to be more accountable. And then finally, if you feel like I've done everything and I cannot just get it right, talk to a therapist. A therapist can help you recognize the feelings associated with the imposter syndrome and help you create a structured behavioral pattern to get past it. Action really helps you overcome imposter syndrome. It's about coming out from I can't do this to making sure that you take a step forward. Imposter syndrome is out to paralyze you, is out to make you stop and just not do anything. But you have to intentionally seek to say, I choose to make better decisions despite how I feel. Let me know in the chats what you think about these last 2 weeks of amazing podcast, and just stay viewing. This is King's Corner. Bye for now.